The film opens in the scenic Catskills, where a group of college friends, Haley, Grant, Paxton, Paige, Elise, Madeline, and Lucas, have rented a luxurious mansion to celebrate Elise's birthday. While enjoying a lively drinking game, tension quietly surfaces when Harriet and Grant, who had been dating, reveal to the group that they broke up on the way to the trip, realizing their lives were heading in different directions. When the beer runs out, the friends explore the mansion in search of more alcohol. Their curiosity leads them to a restricted room filled with mysterious artifacts. Among them, they discover a wooden box decorated with a zodiac wheel containing an ornate deck of hand-painted tarot cards. Intrigued, the group persuades Haley, who has some knowledge of tarot reading, to give them each a reading. Although she feels an unsettling energy from the cards, she reluctantly agrees. Elise draws the High Priestess, foretold to be climbing a ladder of success but warned to slow her pace. Madeline receives the Hanged Man, with a reading that her Pisces nature makes her prone to running from danger. Paige draws the Magician, symbolizing an imminent life change. Lucas gets the Hermit, promising wealth and possible romance, a subtle nod to his chemistry with Madeline. Paxton pulls the Fool, with the prediction that he will unexpectedly come through for his friends in a time of need. Grant, who initially refuses to participate, is given the Devil, a warning that he may lose someone dearest to him. Finally, Haley reads for herself, revealing the Death card, a foreboding sign that love will be the death of her. As the final card is revealed, a series of ominous visions suggests that an ancient evil has been awakened. The group leaves the mansion and heads back to campus. On the way, Lucas makes a quick stop at a gas station, where he scratches a lottery ticket and surprisingly wins $700, seemingly fulfilling part of his tarot reading. Later that night, Paige and Elise, who are in a relationship, chat on the phone. After they hang up, Elise hears strange noises coming from her attic. She notices that the attic ladder has been pulled down. Cautiously, she climbs up to investigate. In the dim space above, she sees a shadow flicker across the room. When she glances away for a moment and looks back, she is startled to find candles mysteriously lit all around her. Suddenly, a horrifying, monstrous version of the High Priestess from her tarot card materializes. In a panic, Elise loses her footing and falls from the ladder. The sinister apparition then violently slams the ladder down on Elise repeatedly until it crushes and impales her. News of Elise's brutal death devastates her friends, especially Paige. Trying to comfort her, Haley opens up about how she first turned to tarot readings when her mother was battling cancer. Desperate for hope, she searched for readings that might predict good fortune, but every draw she made foretold only death. Meanwhile, Lucas walks Madeline home. Though there's a spark between them, they settle for a simple hug before Lucas heads to the subway. At the station, he begins to feel the unnerving presence of the Hermit, the very figure from his tarot card. The shadowy figure stalks him through the platform until Lucas strays into a restricted rail yard. Trapped inside an inactive train, he turns to find the Hermit looming over him. Terrified, Lucas stumbles backward, falls from the carriage, and is struck by an oncoming train. Haley begins to connect the dots, realizing that the deaths of Elise and Lucas eerily align with the tarot cards they had drawn. Determined to uncover the truth, she digs deeper and discovers the name Alma Astrom, a woman with intimate knowledge of a series of mysterious deaths tied to tarot readings. Haley persuades Grant, Paxton, Paige, and Madeline to accompany her to Alma's home. Initially, Alma refuses to speak with them, but when Haley reveals what they have been experiencing, Alma reluctantly lets them in. After a brief reading of the situation, Alma confirms that the deaths are indeed linked to specific cursed tarot cards from the very deck the group had found in the mansion. She explains that throughout history, anyone who has performed a reading with these particular cards has met a grim fate, with Alma herself being the sole survivor of one such tragedy in London. Alma recounts the dark origin of the deck. In the 1700s, a wealthy count summoned an astrologer to read his fortune because his wife and child had fallen gravely ill. Every reading the astrologer performed foretold death. When the countess and her child eventually died, the Count accused the astrologer of witchcraft. In a cruel act of vengeance, he had the astrologer's young daughter hanged. Consumed by grief and fury, the astrologer cursed the deck, binding her spirit to it, and committed suicide. She then performed one final reading for the Count and his men, which sealed their horrific demise. Alma warns the teens that the only way to end the curse is to locate the deck and destroy it. Determined to break the cycle, Paige rebooks the mansion so they can return and destroy the cards. On the way there, a heavy tension settles over the group as they wonder who will be next. While crossing a bridge, Grant's car suddenly loses power and rolls to a stop. In the eerie stillness, Madeline notices a ghostly image of the hanged man forming on the fogged-up car window. Her fate is sealed. Remembering her reading, Haley points out that it warned her that people like her tend to run from danger and suggests doing the opposite to avoid death. But panic takes over, and Madeline bolts from the car, with Haley chasing after her. Back at the stalled vehicle, Grant, Paxton, and Paige abandon the car when a menacing spirit begins to manifest. In the distance, Madeline runs desperately through the fog until the hanged man materializes above her, dropping a spectral noose around her neck. Before her friends can reach her, she is violently lifted into the air and hanged before their eyes. While Haley, Grant, and Paige prepare to return to the mansion, Paxton abandons them and heads back to campus. There, he becomes the target of the fool, who playfully but menacingly stalks him through the building, laughing maniacally. Paxton manages to slip into an elevator, watching in horror as the fool's mask shifts through various eerie expressions. Moments later, the fool forces his way into the elevator and lunges toward Paxton. Meanwhile, the remaining three make it back to the mansion and locate the cursed tarot deck. They toss it into the fireplace, only to discover that the cards are impervious to the flames. Alma soon arrives to assist them. She proposes holding a seance in an attempt to contact the spirit of the astrologer who cursed the deck. However, the ritual backfires. Rather than banishing the spirit, the astrologer performs a reading for Alma, drawing the Six of Swords. Instantly, Alma is dragged into the darkness and later reappears lifeless, 6 swords protruding from her back. Haley and Grant flee, but Paige becomes separated and finds herself face-to-face with the magician. She is lured into a surreal stage performance, unknowingly cast as his assistant. Trapped inside a magician's box, she is gruesomely sawed in half before she can escape. Haley and Grant take refuge, bracing themselves for the inevitable. Haley confides in Grant that before their relationship began, a tarot reading predicted they would not last, but she chose to ignore it. A later reading gave her the same warning, just before their breakup. Their conversation is cut short when the devil suddenly appears, dragging Grant through a window, leaving Haley to face the relentless figure of death closing in on her. Haley reaches the cursed deck and realizes the only way to end the nightmare is to perform a reading for the astrologer herself. She draws the death card, directing it toward the astrologer. In that moment, Haley seizes the chance to release her own grief over her mother's passing while urging the astrologer to also let go of the anguish over her daughter's death. Grant arrives to shield Haley as a powerful surge of energy erupts, shattering the astrologer's spirit. The cursed deck bursts into flames, and for a fleeting moment, the astrologer is shown reunited with her daughter in the afterlife. Hand in hand, Haley and Grant leave the mansion, only to see a car approaching in the distance. They brace themselves, fearing another supernatural threat, but to their relief, Paxton steps out, alive. The three friends embrace, realizing Paxton's tarot reading of coming through for his friends in an unexpected way has come to pass. On the drive back, Paxton explains that he survived when his roommate, Todd, pried open the elevator door, causing the fool to vanish. With the curse broken, Grant remarks that perhaps their fates were never set in stone.